Episode 14, The Offer. Marcus's hand tightened on the canvas bag strap as the older man took another step forward. The younger enforcer moved to flank him, cutting off any path back toward the Botanical Garden entrance. "We can do this the easy way or the hard way," the older man said. His voice was calm, almost paternal. "But either way, we're going to have a conversation." Marcus's mind raced through his options. Run and get caught within half a block. Fight and get beaten unconscious before the first punch landed. Scream and maybe attract attention, but probably just accelerate whatever they had planned. Or talk. Buy time. Stay alive until 8 p.m. when he needed to call Sarah Chen. "What do you want?" Marcus kept his voice steady. The older man smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Smart. Your father. He never learned when to have a conversation. Always had to be the hero." He gestured to a black Lincoln Continental parked at the curb. "Get in the car. We're going somewhere we can talk private." "I'm not getting in that car." "You are." The older man's smile faded. "Because if you don't, my associate here is going to break both your legs right here on the sidewalk, and then we're going to throw you in the trunk anyway. Your choice. You ride in the backseat like a gentleman, or you ride in the trunk like luggage." Marcus looked at the younger enforcer, who cracked his knuckles with obvious anticipation. The street was empty, except for a woman with a shopping cart 2 blocks away, too far to help, even if she wanted to. "Where are we going?" "Somewhere neutral. Somewhere we can talk business." The older man opened the rear door. "After you." Marcus climbed into the back seat, the canvas bag clutched against his chest. The older man slid in beside him, while the younger enforcer took the driver's seat. The car pulled away from the curb, heading south. "My name's Sal," the older man said conversationally. "Sal Benedetto. I knew your father. Worked the same docks for 15 years. He pulled out a pack of cigarettes, offered one to Marcus. "No, you don't smoke. Smart kid." Marcus said nothing. He watched the streets pass, trying to track their route. They were heading toward the waterfront, toward Red Hook, toward DeLuca territory. "Your old man, Jimmy Chen, he was a good worker," Sal continued, lighting his cigarette. "Kept his head down, did his job, didn't cause trouble, until he decided to cause trouble." He exhaled smoke. "You know what his problem was? He thought he was special. Thought because he saw something, he had to do something about it. Couldn't just mind his own business like everybody else. He saw you killing people. He saw business being conducted." Sal's voice hardened. "Business that kept food on his table and a roof over your head. The docks don't run on sunshine and good intentions, kid. They run on order, on respect, on people understanding their place." The car turned onto Columbia Street. Through the windshield, Marcus could see the elevated highway and beyond it, the harbor. His mouth went dry. "Where are we going?" "I told you, somewhere neutral." Sal smiled again. "Relax. If we wanted you dead, you'd already be at the bottom of the harbor. This is a business meeting." They pulled into the parking lot of a small Italian restaurant, Giordano's, the sign read, wedged between a warehouse and a ship chandler's shop. The lunch rush was over. The lot was nearly empty. "Come on," Sal said, opening his door. "Best osso buco in Brooklyn. You ever had osso buco?" Marcus followed them inside, the canvas bag still clutched against his chest. The restaurant was dim, smelling of garlic and red wine. An older woman in a black dress looked up from behind the bar, saw Sal, and nodded toward a back booth. They sat, Sal across from Marcus, the younger enforcer blocking the aisle. The woman brought wine without being asked, 3 glasses, and disappeared back behind the bar. "Drink," Sal said, pushing a glass toward Marcus. "It's Chianti. Good stuff, not the cheap shit." Marcus didn't touch the glass. "What do you want?" Sal sipped his wine, studying Marcus over the rim. "You're in a bad situation, kid. You got something that belongs to my employers. They want it back. But more than that, they want to know who you've talked to, who's seen it, where the copies are." "There are no copies." "Bullshit. Your father was smart enough to document everything that he was smart enough to make copies. The journalist, Hutchins, he's got copies. The question is, who else?" Marcus's blood ran cold. They knew about Hutchins, which meant they'd been listening to more than just Monday's phone call. How long had they been monitoring his communications? Since the hospital? Since Frank's apartment? "I see you figuring it out," Sal said. "Yeah, we've been listening. We know about the hospital visit. We know about your friends, Robert and Diane, right? We know about the old man, Frank. We know about the priest at St. Augustine's. We know about the reporter. He leaned forward. We know about the assistant DA, too. Sarah Chen. Nice lady. Ambitious. Been trying to build a case against the family for 2 years now. Marcus felt the world tilting. If they knew about Sarah Chen, they knew about the FBI. They knew about Wednesday night. They knew everything. So here's the situation, Sal continued. Wednesday night at Pier 47, you're going to show up. You're going to bring the evidence. You're going to tell us everything. Who's got copies, who you've talked to, what the feds know. And then, he paused, sipped his wine. And then you're going to disappear. Maybe you go to California. Maybe you go to Florida. Somewhere far away where you can start over. Forget all this unpleasantness. We'll even help you out. Say $10,000 to get you settled. You're a young guy. You got your whole life ahead of you. No reason to throw it away over something that happened 20 years ago. Marcus stared at him. You're offering me money to run away. I'm offering you your life, kid. 10 grand and a fresh start. Or Wednesday night you end up in the harbor wearing concrete shoes. It's a good deal. Take it. And Robert? Diane? Frank? Mrs. Rodriguez? They'll be fine. As long as you cooperate, they're not our concern. But if you don't, Sal shrugged. Well, then they become loose ends. And we don't like loose ends. The younger enforcer cracked his knuckles again, the sound loud in the quiet restaurant. Marcus looked down at the canvas bag in his lap. Inside were his father's photographs, his father's notes, his father's voice on cassette tape. 20 years of silence. 20 years of waiting for someone to care. I need to think about it, he said finally. Sure. You got until Wednesday night. Sal finished his wine and stood. But let me make something clear, kid. You go to the cops, the real cops, not the ones we own, and we'll know. You try to run, we'll find you. You try to be a hero like your old man, you'll end up like your old man. The only way you walk away from this is if you do exactly what we tell you. Understand? Marcus nodded slowly. Good. Sal dropped a 20 on the table. Tony will drive you back to the Bronx. Think about what I said. $10,000 in your life or a concrete grave. It's not a hard choice. They rode back in silence, the Lincoln gliding through the afternoon traffic. Marcus watched the city pass, his mind spinning. The DeLucas knew everything. They knew about Sarah Chen, about the FBI, about Wednesday night, which meant the trap wasn't going to work. They'd be ready for it. Unless they thought Marcus was going to cooperate. Unless they thought they'd scared him enough that he'd roll over, take the money, and run. If they believed that, they might let their guard down. They might show up at Pier 47, confident, arrogant, ready to close the deal, and walk right into the FBI's net. The Lincoln stopped at the corner of 149th Street and Morris Avenue, 2 blocks from Marcus's apartment. Sal leaned forward from the back seat. Remember what I said, kid. Wednesday night, don't be stupid. Marcus climbed out, the canvas bag clutched against his chest. The Lincoln pulled away, disappearing into traffic. He stood on the corner, breathing hard, his hands shaking. They knew everything, but they'd made a mistake. They'd shown him their hand. They'd revealed how confident they were, how certain that Marcus would fold under pressure. His father hadn't folded. His father had gathered evidence, built a case, and died rather than surrender. Not because he was brave, because he was a man who saw something he couldn't unsee. Marcus checked his watch. 4:30 p.m. 3.5 hours until he needed to call Sarah Chen. 3.5 hours to figure out how to turn the DeLucas' confidence into their downfall. He walked north, away from his apartment, toward the payphone outside the bodega on 152nd Street. He needed to call Hutchins. He needed to warn him that the DeLucas knew about Sarah Chen. But he also needed to think. To plan. The bodega was crowded with after-school kids buying candy and soda. Marcus waited until they dispersed, then fed coins into the payphone. He dialed the times. Newsroom. Gerald Hutchins, please. 1 moment. The line clicked, then Hutchins's voice. This is Hutchins. It's Marcus. Don't say my name. Are you somewhere you can talk? A pause. Give me 30 seconds. The line went silent. Then Hutchins was back, his voice lower. What happened? They grabbed me outside the Botanical Garden, took me to a restaurant in Red Hook, made me an offer. What kind of offer? $10,000 to disappear. Bring the evidence Wednesday night. Tell them everything. Then leave town and forget about it. Jesus. Hutchins was quiet for a moment. What did you say? I said I'd think about it. Good, that's good. They think they've got you scared. They do have me scared. But that's not the problem. The problem is they know about Sarah Chen. They know about the FBI. They know about Wednesday night. Silence on the line. Then, how much do they know? Everything. They've been monitoring my communications since at least Monday, maybe longer. They know about Robert and Diane, about Frank, about Father Michael. They know about the assistant DA. They know about the plan. Fuck. Hutchins exhaled sharply. Okay, let me think. If they know about the FBI surveillance, they might not show up Wednesday night, or they might show up ready for it. Or, Marcus said slowly, they might show up confident. They think they've scared me into cooperating. They think I'm going to hand over the evidence and run. If we let them keep thinking that, they walk right into the trap. Hutchins's voice took on a note of excitement. You'd have to sell it. Make them believe you're actually going to cooperate. I can do that. I'm terrified enough that it won't be hard. This is dangerous, Marcus. If they figure out you're playing them, they already want to kill me. This just gives me a chance to take them down first. Marcus watched the street, making sure no one was paying attention to his conversation. But we need to tell Sarah Chen. She needs to know they're expecting the FBI. I'll call her. You focus on staying alive until 8 p.m. Make the call, get the briefing, and then disappear until Wednesday. Can you do that? Yeah, I can do that. Good. And Marcus? Your father would be proud of you. The line went dead. Marcus hung up the phone and stood in the cold afternoon air, the canvas bag pressed against his chest. 30 hours until Wednesday night. 30 hours to prepare, to plan, to get ready to face the men who killed his father. He thought about Sal's offer. $10,000 and a fresh start. A chance to walk away, to survive, to forget. But his father's voice echoed in his memory. I'm not brave, Marcus. I'm just a man who saw something he can't unsee. Marcus couldn't unsee it either. The photographs, the notebook, the cassette tape, 20 years of silence. No more. He walked north, toward the subway station. He had 3.5 hours until the call with Sarah Chen. 3.5 hours to find somewhere safe to wait. Somewhere the DeLucas wouldn't think to look. The Bronx Youth Alliance. Jimmy Reese had given him a key, told him the back door was always open if he needed it. The DeLucas might know about it, but they wouldn't expect him to hide somewhere they'd already found him once. Marcus descended into the subway, the canvas bag clutched against his chest. Behind him, the street. Ahead, the darkness of the tunnel and the distant rumble of approaching trains. 30 hours until Pier 47. 30 hours until justice, or death, or both. He was his father's son. He didn't get to walk away.
Thanks for watching our stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic adventures. Thanks for watching our stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic adventures.